Hey friends, welcome back to Mindfully Well with Mel. Today we're diving into a phrase that sounds simple but often feels incredibly frustrating in real life. It's trust the process. You've probably heard it before in every setting that involves patience. Weight loss, healing your body, growing a business, relationships. But if you've ever been on the receiving end of that phrase when you feel stuck, it makes you roll your eyes and give a good old side eye. Because if you've been trying and it still isn't working, it can feel like the most dismissive advice ever. Like, yeah, it's easy for you to say that. But here's the thing, trusting the process isn't just a feel good phrase, it's actually a mindset shift that can completely change how you experience reaching your goals. So let's unpack what it really means and how to live it when results feel far away. Hey, friends, welcome to this week's episode. I'm excited to dig into this with you. Before I get there, I want to let you know I have a very special Mother's Day special because Mother's Day is right around the corner. And whether you're a mom or you're a grandma or you're a dog mom, I want to help honor you with a very special offer that I've never actually had before. This is for you if you're feeling tired, foggy, irritable, and like your body just isn't responding the way it used to. There's a good chance that your hormones and your adrenal glands are at the root of it. Have you ever been dismissed by labs that say, well, everything looks normal, even when you feel like anything but normal? This is for you. For a limited time, I'm offering a Mother's Day Dutch test special for just $575. It's packed with clarity and support. You're going to get a Dutch test shipped right to your home. You'll do it in the comfort of your home just by peeing on little strips. It's super easy. You're going to get a comprehensive review of your entire result from yours truly, me. And I'm going to give you nutritional guidance. I'm going to give you workout guidance and then targeted supplement recommendations to use during the bridge time where we are supporting your body. It's not supplements you take forever. It will be supplements that you take just for a short amount of time while you rebuild your great habits on what to eat, how to move your body, and how to reduce your stress. So this will help you because you're not going to feel like you're guessing anymore. It's about finally seeing what's really going on in your body and have a plan that works with your hormones instead of against them. So whether you're a mom, you're celebrating a mom, or you're ready to be a mother yourself, a little bit or you're just ready to mother yourself a little more on this Mother's Day, there's a chance to give your body the support it's been craving. So I'm just giving this out to 10 or less spots because I have all of my clients in Mindfully Well that need my love and attention and support as well. So grab your spot. You can do that through the link in the bio, the link in the show notes, or you can head to Instagram and you can send me a DM that says Dutch, and I will send you the link to check out. We hear trust the process all the time around goals, right? I myself have said this before. I've also been on the receiving end of it many times, and I've said it to myself so many times. And always around things that require patience, like, of course, weight loss or wanting our body to do something different than what it's currently doing. And let's be honest, it feels like a filler phrase. It feels like something that people say when they don't know what else to say. And it can feel like they're trying to offer something helpful, but what you really hear is just wait, just be patient, when you're really looking for answers and you're really looking for clarity and knowing that it's working. And when you have been patient and still nothing is changing, it can often feel like gaslighting. It's like they're not even listening to me. Nobody actually understands. So if you're nodding your head right now and thinking, yep, that's me, let's ask some very real questions about this. First, is the process truly not working? Sometimes we are just looking at the number on the scale, or we are just looking at progress in the last week instead of maybe the last month or the last 6 months or the last year. And how do you know it's not working? Are you measuring what needs to be measured? Are you looking at all the different forms of measurement, right? Not just the scale, your waist measurement, your hip measurement. Are you looking at your strength? Are you lifting heavier? Are you looking at body fat percentage? Are you looking at muscle mass gained or not gained? How do you actually know that nothing is actually happening. You have to have that proof before you walk around saying it's not working. Because if you're going to walk around saying it's not working, you're definitely going to prove it to be true that it's not working. And if you have decided, like, yes, I know that it's not working, you want to ask yourself, are your actions aligned with what you actually want? And then you have to be honest with yourself, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, on what you actually want. And then are you just waiting for a quick win to validate your effort, right? So, like, really white knuckling your efforts to see like a pound go down on the scale. Like, you just need to see that in order to feel good. And then all of a sudden the next week you're in the same spot. I just need to see the scale go on down to make myself feel good. I just need to see this to make myself feel good. So before you jump into analyzing your habits, your foods, or your workouts, I want you to pause and ask yourself, going back to the question that I just asked, what am I actually working toward and why does it matter to me? Because if your goal is just to see a smaller number on the scale, then trusting the process becomes very urgent. You need that result to feel safe. You need the scale to go down a pound in order to feel safe. You need the scale to go down again the next week in order to feel safe. But when you dig deeper and connect to your real why, like wanting more energy, for your kids, feeling peace in your body, reclaiming joy, then everything shifts. Trusting the process isn't actually about waiting for the scale to move anymore. It becomes about being. You start to become the woman who lives in energy and joy and contentment now. And suddenly you're not waiting to feel it, you're actually building it. So why is it, I can tell you all the most beautiful things and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Also, don't like it. My brain is still struggling with this. Why does that happen? So your brain, it actually doesn't want you to change. It wants you to stay the same because what's familiar feels safe. So when you first start to do something new, you're doing it like if you join my program, right? Or you join another program, or you start a new workout regimen, or you change your diet in a certain way. When you first start it, your curiosity and your fear are going to run the show. So curiosity drives you to try, to explore, and to see what will happen and what's possible. And then fear says, I can't stay like this anymore. Both will push you into action, and both are very short lived. Because as soon as your brain doesn't see that quick result, it starts scanning. Is this working or is this not? Are we wasting time? Are we wasting energy? Your body never wants to waste energy. It always wants to conserve energy. So if you're doing actions that cost you energy and it's not seeing what it thinks it needs to see, it's going to put a halt to this. And it's trying to find certainty in your actions because certainty feels like safety. And that's why you keep jumping ship. Because if there's no obvious yes, you assume it must be no. And you go back to what you know, back to where you were before. And you're trying to escape one uncomfortable reality for another, right? You're trying to escape maybe the weight gain and that your pants are tight or that you feel tired and sluggish and you just don't feel like yourself. So you exchange that discomfort for honestly another discomfort of doing things that might feel hard, that are uncomfortable, that you don't want to do, that don't bring you immediate joy and immediate dopamine. And so you're going to exchange that first initial discomfort for the next discomfort. And then your brain says, well, this discomfort also sucks, but I know what it was like to be at the other discomfort. So just go back there. And that's why we all of a sudden pick up our old habits and why just this one time starts to be a thought that you say, or it's not that big of a deal, or I'm just going to skip meal prep this week. I'll figure it out. Or I'm just going to hit snooze today. Or like you just slowly let those habits go and you start to find ways to make it seem like it's just a little bit, it's just some. And there's a difference between telling yourself that I'm letting myself off the hook completely and a difference between slowly lying to yourself, right? There's a difference between wanting to establish a lifestyle and not dieting and not being super strict and restrictive. There's a difference between that and lying to yourself about what you can actually be doing. So when you escape one uncomfortable reality for another, neither are going to give you what you truly need. What you need is safety within yourself. What you need is peace in the unknown, which is so hard, but it's possible. And you need confidence in your ability to follow through. That's the real work. It's learning how to stay with the unknown long enough for it to become your new familiar. And this is something that I am learning and I have learned along the way. It's a lot of the hard ways, right? Um, because I'm somebody who I have a human brain just like you, but I have a personality where I crave clarity. I want answers. I love science because it's very factual. It's black or white. You can say yes, you can say no. And I want to feel content in my body and I want to feel free in my choices. For a long time, that meant that I was reactive and I'm still working on my reactivity. I would jump from one decision to the next because I don't give it enough time. I'm not patient enough. And I'd be chasing that yes or no so I could feel safe again, looking for answers and like concrete things. And what I've learned is that I have to sit through the height of my emotions before I can make decisions. So that means that if I am feeling a heightened emotional state, whether it's positive or negative, I don't make decisions from that unless it's an emergency. But for things that are not emergencies and that can take time, I now require myself to sit through the height of the emotions, whether I'm excited or I'm fearful or I'm very uncomfortable or I'm super curious. I slow down and I wait until I'm in a neutral place where my nervous system isn't hijacking the conversation. And that's how I make my next move. That's how I decide if something's working and I'm trusting the process, or if it truly isn't working and now I need to pivot. Because then I know when I make a decision from a neutral place that I can trust that decision and I can still trust it weeks later instead of living in regret with a decision that I made out of an emotional reaction. Trusting the process sounds very passive. When I tell you trust the process, it's not passive. It's actually incredibly active, but it requires discipline in your emotions, not just your actions, right? You have to sit in discomfort without clear answers. So, how do you stay in the process without actually trying to control that outcome? So here's a really, I mean, we hear this saying a lot, or I hear it a lot. I say it a lot because I love it. It makes so much sense to me is that you want to see the forest, not just the trees. And you really need to zoom out on the thing that you're waiting for. Ask yourself, what's the bigger picture here? If your actions today are really aligned with your deeper purpose of feeling at home in your body, loving the skin you're in, I feel like that was a commercial at one point, but it just came off the tongue. If you're wanting to have more contentment and more joy and just feeling happier, and your actions are driving that, then you're doing it right, even if you don't see instant results. So here's a reflection that I often use, and I also encourage you to really, as I say these things, I want you to actually do this with me. I want you to actually do these instructions with me. I want you to visualize her, the future version of you. And I like to go out like a year. We don't have to go out super far, but I also don't want to go out super close because it takes time to evolve. And so let's think about you in a year. And she already has what you want. She feels great in her skin. She feels like her body is hers. She has energy throughout the day. She sleeps well at night. She makes great food decisions, but she's not restrictive. She has all of those things that you want. She feels peace in her body. She trusts herself and she doesn't question every move. Think about you as her. What would she say to you today? Would she say, "You're getting it all wrong, abort mission, jump the ship, lady"? Or would she smile and say, "You're doing it right. Stick with it. There's magic in the wait. Don't let me down." Because there is magic in the wait. And your job is to find it today. Where did you show up differently today? Where did you make a choice that aligned with who you wanted to become? Where did you pause instead of panic or jump ship? That's how you participate in the wait without controlling. You stop chasing the outcome and you start living in your transformation. So if you've been telling yourself, I'm trying, but it's not working, ask yourself, what am I expecting to happen right now? And is that expectation rooted in fear or in trust? You don't have to love the wait. That's not what I'm asking you today. But you do have to stay in it long enough to let it do its job. You're not just trusting the process, you're learning to trust yourself, which is the most beautiful thing you will ever do. And it's going to change everything for you. All right, my friends, I hope you loved today's episode. I will see you next week.